I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is FTB Skies 2. So welcome to FTB Skies 2. That's right, the second iteration to the Skies series from FTB, which is another kitchen sink based Skyblock. And I'm pretty excited to dive into this because it does include all of the new stuff from the 121 update. There's a lot of cool things that we can dive into. All the new create things are in here. All of the new mods and their updates are in here. And it's basically a giant sandbox where we can experiment with all of it. Now, as we look around the starter area, some things I do want to mention. You can get this mod pack linked down in the description below. You can find it on CurseForge, or you can also get it on the FTB launcher, of course, as this is presented by FTB. But I tell you what, look at that. That is a massive portal that we're about to head into. I mean, so I guess without further ado, we should probably head into the ship and get things sorted. Well, to start our journey, it looks like we just have to activate the portal. And you just simply right-click, and the portal should be activated. And this is really cool, integrating some of the create stuff right off the start. But yes, create's in here along with several other. There's over 400 mods in this pack, and there is plenty to play with in this skyblock. But yes, the door opens up and we're presented with our portal. And inside this portal is where we get to choose where we go. So starting off, we have the lush geode with glowing crystals that looks a little bit like this. Next, we have a floating cottage brimming with magic. And after that, a nice cozy box to challenge yourself with. Yeah, cozy, quote unquote. But the interior of it should definitely look like this. Then we have a soulful island with ethereal lights and amber trees. Looks like it's definitely hinting towards the Malum part of the back. Next, we have the classic Sky Island, a tiny island for Skyblock purists. Then after that, we have a mystic grove with whimsy and crystals. Very, very nice. I love the little water area. We have a peaceful island for fishing and relaxing. Oh, and it has a nice little like cottage in the middle. And after that, my personal favorite, a steampunk island of gears and power. And this one is quite epic, honestly. Now, with 8 separate options to start with, there's a lot to choose from. And I think I'm going to go with, honestly, the steampunk island. There's only one option. How could I not go for the steampunk island? This place is absolutely gorgeous and starts you off with all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, we have a little section of water. We have a workstation, like some blast furnace, all kinds of cool stuff. And yeah, it looks like even some iron up there in the top corner, it looks like. Now, if you know me, you definitely know not to get too comfortable with everything you see around me, because I like to tear this down and build my own, which is something we'll probably do in the future. By the way, are these just regular copper blocks? Look at that. But you know what? I think that's enough of the intro bit. Let's actually dive into this pack. But before we do, don't forget to click that subscribe button. If you like videos like these and you're looking forward to some more, definitely click that subscribe button. And don't forget to comment down below what has been your favorite part of this mod pack if you've jumped into it so far. And of course, guys, we are getting super, super close to 700,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without you guys. So I would love the support. And so yeah, give this video a thumbs up as well. Be sure to join the Discord. Now, things I would like to do getting started here is maybe investigate the house a little bit. Looks like we have a hopper, some comparators, ooh, which is really nice. Redstone torch. Looks like some campfires that are all sprawled about. We could break those and get ourselves some charcoal. That is something we could definitely do. Oh, and we have a bed. I'm definitely going to take the bed with me and then head upstairs. Oh, and we have a dangerous balcony with no railing. Also, I noticed this wall is just completely made of bone, which is pretty nice. And also this wall here. And because I'm not going to be getting too comfortable with these buildings, I mean, we could probably use them. I mean, my goal is to eventually destroy all of this and make it rather flat. That way I have access to being able to build my own thing. Now, that's enough daydreaming for me. Let's go ahead and dive into the quest. Now, there's a couple of ways you can get to your quest book. You can either click on your little quest button up at the top, and this is going to open it up, or you can set a hotkey or a keybind to be able to access this. Getting started though, FTB Skies is a sandbox style skyblock that lets you play how you want to. And that's what I really like about packs like these, is it allows me to be as creative as I possibly can without hindering me in really any way possible. There's also some commands. We have set home, back, spawn, things like that are really, really helpful. I don't always tend to use them, but we might actually use them in this pack. And then we also have, if you found a bug, yeah, let's go. We got this. Now, if you don't like the sound of the quest complete being really, really loud, you have this as well. If there's any sound in the game that you think is really loud, you can use the ESM or Extreme Sound Muffler mod. And then if you click this all button or click this button down here, you can actually search complete, and it will go ahead and you can just turn it down. you can turn this and set this volume to however you like. This is a very, very loud sound, by the way. So yeah, I went ahead and changed it right off the bat. Also, speaking of sounds, there is a sound mod that is in here by default, but I have disabled it. It's literally just called sounds. And that's really the only mod that I have modified in this whole pack. I mean, it's just a mod that adds like different crunching sounds whenever you're walking on grass and things like that. And I just found it to be quite much. Now, back in here, we also have some useful items. There's a lot of cool things in here. We have the Explorer's Compass, the locating for biomes, the Biome Compass, jetpacks, easy villagers. We also have construction sticks, sleeping bags, the ability to stop wandering traders. We also have a temporary flight. Now, this is actually Zycraft, but yes, there is a little balloon on a stick that I absolutely love from Zycraft. It allows you to fly around. We have temporal pouch, tool belt, packing tape. There's just so many mods in here. Elevator, snad, crafting table and a stick. You can twerk if you have a hoe in your main hand or offhand. It does take durability, however, or at least it did whenever I was testing this out. We have building gadgets, simple magnets, mining tools. Oh, there's just so much to work with. Redstone pin. We also have inventory trash can. Oh, it's absolutely wild. And that's just the ones they listed, because there's even more. So with this in mind, let's take a look at the getting started page. So we do have a helpful getting started page, which is going to help us progress through so we can get to a point where we can actually play with all of these mods. And much like any Skyblock, there's always some sort of quirky progression line at the start. And this pack, of course, is no different. It has a very quirky little progression that I'm pretty excited to dive into. Now, just like any pack, we have to punch wood, and we have got to find some wood to actually punch. And we do have some trees just laying about, and this is where we're going to get our first logs. Yep, and there we go. We now have ourselves some logs, and we get Grandma's treat, which is nice. Vegetable noodles, very good. And we get ourselves some saplings, which is also very nice. So now we have the ability to literally start growing our own trees, and we do have vein miner in here, so or excavator, I guess you can call it. Ultimine, yeah, there's so many names to call this mod. It's FTB Ultimine, however. We are going to need some grass, and unfortunately, this is all fake grass, according to this. And there's also some other fake things that are laid about. So don't think you're going to get a good head start by looking at some of these items. Like, I know this right here, if you look at it, it does say magma block, but it's not actually magma blocks, I don't believe. I believe it's actually mana weave, just hidden. Very, very sneaky. Oh, and another thing you might notice, there is a mod that opens all the trapdoors all together. If you don't want to do this, hold shift, and that allows you to open them normally. I wish, however, I mean, I guess it makes sense if you were using trapdoors as doors or something, like to be able to do it all together, but yeah, that is a thing that's in here. Now, getting started, we probably want to nab one of these signs over here. And I believe there's a crafting table upstairs, or at least I thought there was a crafting table upstairs. We could grab that crafting table, yes, and bring it down with us. Or, actually, we probably should, yeah, bring it down with us for now, and then we'll use this crafting table to craft ourselves a crafting table and a stick, which is going to make life a whole lot easier. So there's our crafting table, and I stole that sign, so now we can make a crafting table on a stick from Actually Editions, which is super, super handy, and now has a charm slot that allows us to open it with a keybind. You just have to set the keybind. I set mine to F, but now I have a crafting table that is on me at all times. And with just those 2 logs, I have just enough material to craft your mom and get started with the tree process. So we put it in your offhand and or main hand. It doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we do have random events that happen, including goats that spawn and knock you off things and do, yeah. But they drop good things. But yes, we can hold down the grave key, which is directly underneath your escape key. However, the range on it getting started is only 16 blocks, and that's for a good reason. That's because we can level up this ability over time. It is something that we are going to have to work on, but if you hit K, it actually pulls up your skill tree menu. And if you played FTB Evolutions, or if you've seen it, this is the same system that was in FTB Evolutions. This levels up whenever you do a lot of these operations, but you can also earn skill points from just completing quests, which is very, very nice and very, very powerful for some of these magic mods. For example, Ars Nouveau getting spell power increases that go quite high, and summoning power makes this even more powerful. And it allows you to craft spells that you wouldn't normally be able to craft with the base mod. I can't wait to put those shenanigans to use. Like, that's going to be some wild, wild stuff. But yes, I have some trees to chop down. I mean, I recommend getting about 64 of these to really get started. Like 64 logs is probably going to be more than enough. The only problem with this from the start is that, yeah, sometimes you're going to get that large tree and you may not be able to chop the entire thing down, unfortunately, like with this this setup, right? With only 16 reach. Yeah, it's not going to go through the whole thing. Now, this is going to be very island specific, but if you are on an island like this, I do recommend grabbing some of the cobblestone that is possibly in the ground, using that to get yourself a pickaxe, which is going to be very helpful. Now, also on every island should be a special loot container. And this one, for example, has a special loot container with a fox, spawn egg, a charm of absorption. Definitely going to take that. I'm just going to leave this here for right now. I am, though, going to take the shulker box, and we're going to store that over here for right now. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty nice. We also got ourselves a charm. Angel block is going to be very helpful here in a minute. And then we get ourselves a worm for crops from Actual Editions. And I think every island has something different. Tell you what, though, these goats, these goats are something else. And they will continue to drop different items. So I could end up getting ender pearls, iron, all kinds of stuff. Now, already I have fallen through the world because there was a hole that was right there. But it looks like when you fall through the world, yeah, I can't believe that there was just a hole there. When you fall through the world, you actually get grades of infinity. Like, what? What even is this? I would have already died. But thankfully, when you fall, you don't actually die at the bottom of the world. That was only a mild heart attack that just happened there. Ooh, yeah. Oh my God. Okay, the random events that just spawned a creeper. Oh, why would you do such a thing? Okay. I just had a panic attack. No big deal. No big deal. That spawned a ring of creepers. That is just a thing with this pack, right? There are going to be random events that can happen. I don't remember if there's a way to toggle them on and off, but I really hope that one's able to be toggled on and off. Oh my goodness. That was not ready for that. I was not ready. And I'm just over here casually mining a pathway to the little lake and also collecting some dirt that I can use. And the creepers just spawn out of nowhere. Whew. Now, after all that chaos, I've made myself a little bit of a dirt spot. And I need this dirt spot for a couple of things. I need to grow some crops, potentially. But we also need a place to bone mill, because in the getting started, it does mention getting ourselves some grass to be able to get ourselves some string. And we need some seeds. So that means, well, we are going to have to get grass here. To get grass, however, it does say that we need to mix a few things. Grains of infinity, and you also toss it in water with some dirt, and that should grant us exactly what we need. And we just so happen to fall through the void, which is one of the ways that you can grant yourself some grains of infinity, and looky there, we have ourselves some grass seed now. Now, after getting the grass seed, we have ourselves one spot of grass that should spread, but you gotta be careful because the fake grass that's here also will spread. I'm already starting to get a little overwhelmed with storage, so if I take this and I craft myself a chest, it does look like we get granted a nice double copper chest from Sophisticated Storage. Very, very handy. And we can place this down, and it is significantly more storage going on. And we can also make ourselves some wooden shears, and to get a little bit of bone meal if we don't actually tear down our building, which is full of bone meal, by the way. To do it, I guess, the correct way, well, we need to make ourselves a composter. And if you've never made a composter before, which is kind of wild if you haven't, yeah, it's just made out of slabs, just like that. And we're going to use some leaves getting started here. So we'll take ourselves a tree. hopefully grow it into a smaller one, and then, yeah, we'll just harvest all of the leaves. That should get us our first major set of bone meal when we start to compost this. And there we go. Now, as an item reward, we actually get something really, really nice. We get these labels. And I think these labels are meant to automate the composter and also show you how to use these labels, which is honestly pretty darn cool. And these are brand new. And you're going to love this, right? Especially if you played older modded Minecraft and you remember like extra utilities too. Like extra utilities was really cool and it had flat transfer nodes. That's basically what these are. They are literally flat transfer nodes. And the only major problem that I have with them at the moment is that, well, if you place them on something, you have to have another one to be able to actually get it off of that block. So by us only having two of them, we kind of, we can end up in a position where we actually place them in the world and we can't get rid of them yet because we just don't have the resources. So I only recommend using one or the other at the moment. And I think we could use them potentially to send items into the composter, but getting them out, yeah, probably not. I think I'm just going to save them for right now, and I'm sure there is going to be something that I could use them on here soon. Now, my goal for today is to hopefully get us a cobblestone generator as soon as possible, so I need to continue on in our quest to getting there. So let's go ahead and take some of our bone meal for right now, and let's see if we get lucky. Do we get a seed? Oh, we got super lucky on that draw. And yes, we did get ourselves some industrial hemp. That is a great way, by the way, to get us some string early on, especially since we can use the hoe to, well, bone meal this. Now, another really useful trick, we can go ahead and craft a crafting table, turn it into a crafting station, and we can place the crafting station next to our large chest here. And we're going to be living out of this chest for a little bit. So this is a nice early game way of literally crafting items directly out of this container. So if we head on over to our pond, we can go ahead and till a little bit of this up and just start to shift. And we're going to get more seeds. Just break the tops off of these plants and you'll be guaranteed some more seeds. And then we can just plant them in a row and just spam until we break these hoes. I mean, they're just wooden, so might as well just hold down shift and continue to spam it. Oh, it's great. And this is going to grant us a ton of string early on. All of this gets turned into string, just 3 of them. So voila, we have that. And if you want to recycle the craft that you just did, just hit tab. And that makes it really easy to recycle the craft that you just did. And you can just keep spamming that over and over again. And then we also have more hemp for more bone meal, just in case we need it for other things. Now, the main reason we need our self string is to get ourselves a strainer. And the strainer is going to allow us to collect pebbles of different rock types. That's going to be very important for what we're about to get started with. But before that, we should also probably get a dripper up and running so we can start producing a little bit of clay, because this allows us to make bonsai trees, which literally automate the production of wood for us. Now, to get water into these, because we don't currently have ourselves a bucket, we can actually use a bowl to feed a little bit of water inside of these drippers. So if we place down some dirt right here, like this, and we place drippers on top, we can use a bowl to scoop up some water like that, and we can feed these drippers, which will then convert our dirt, just like so, into clay. We need this. We need this super bad. This clay is going to be super, super helpful. Oh, and that's going to allow us to make these pots. Now, this requires bricks, so we are going to need to smelt this, but we really just need one for right now. And that is going to be more than helpful. Remember how earlier I said there was like little quirks? Well, this is one of them. We do have a lot of ways of getting charcoal, but this is if you're on other maps and you want to see how you can do this and get yourself some torches. Well, you're going to need to light some wood on fire so you can get yourself some ash. This ash is going to allow you to make torches. And yeah, we are able to take those torches and make ourselves some campfires with them. And we are going to need that, which also means we probably should make a shovel. And after all of the wood has burned, perfect. We get ourselves a little bit of this ash. Just be careful, if it starts raining on you, it will wash ash away. And by the way, campfires are needed to craft, well, yeah, furnaces actually. Looky there, the little torches, and like I said, these torches are able to be used to make the campfires. So with a little bit of crafting, we can get ourselves going real quick. So just one of those, taking some of the cobble that we've gotten from our structure laid about, And voila, there we go. And we have a furnace. By the way, for gathering clay, we end up getting this, which summons some frogs, but it also summons slime. So I want to save this. Yeah, for sure. And totally balances a team reward. Very nice. What else do we get from here? Oh, a rain shield. That's going to be kind of nice. And then a way to light mobs on fire. Oh, and we also get ourselves a skillet. Oh, that's going to be super nice as well. The skillet can go on top of a campfire. And since we're diving into the skillet, it might be a good time to also grab this free hopper that was sitting nearby, because this is going to make this a little bit easier. So if we place a campfire and we have ourselves a skillet, we can place the skillet on top of the campfire, I believe, like this, holding down shift. And what will happen is if you place it in this direction, it should spit the items off to the right-hand side. And so if we just place a hopper here, that will automatically collect those items. And you can put things, for example, like logs in here to get yourself more charcoal. That's kind of neat, actually. So yeah, I just have a few logs right here, and I put those on there. And when it completes, like I said, it'll spit it out here, and it can hold like a stack of items. And there it goes. You can see the charcoal is now inside the hopper. And this charcoal I will use to power my furnace and allow me to actually get started with our automated trees. So there we go. 5 clay is all we need to make 1 bonsai pot or botany pot. Oh, this is going to be great. So let's see what it takes to get this up and running. So this is a very weird looking item, but whenever we place it down, it is just a normal bonsai pot. And it does have a GUI in here, so we do need some dirt, it looks like. And we're also going to need a sapling. So dirt, sapling, okay? And it looks like it also needs an axe to go in here. And that's going to send the items into this slot. But we might be able to now use the transfer node. And I have an insert, and I'm thinking that that insert will send items into this chest. If not, we can always swap it to be something else. No, insert is working. And look at that. It is now sending the contents of the bonsai pot into the barrel. Okay, so this is, I'm trying to figure out the perspective of those transfer nodes, but yeah, it's essentially inserting what is up here into the barrel. Oh, this automated it. So now we have logs being produced, should also produce some saplings, I think, and maybe it will also produce apples. I have no idea, but just leaving this running, I don't have to do this thing anymore. Oh, and I can also use this time to get myself a nice little bucket. And yes, this is going to have to be cooked as well. I think at this point, I should probably talk about the coin system, because this is going to be kind of important, right? We have an actual coin system and a market that we're going to have to dive into. The market's not open yet because we do have to get through this, a whisper in the wind. Can you hear rustling, a jingle, a voice? Come find me when those coins start winding you down, it says. Will you follow the voice? And yes, of course I will. And this opens up the FTB shop, and all of these coins are going to be pretty useful. So right here, we just right click them. They get stored into our coin pouch, and we can withdraw them by clicking these buttons here. So yes, you have to right click to consume them. Pretty interesting little thing here. And inside the shop, we have all kinds of stuff, but we do have to accept this quest first, which means we have to learn how the system works by exchanging a current coin. Pull that out, and we exchange it here by submitting it, and we end up getting a gold coin in return, which is significantly more. But this has now unlocked all of these quests, and we have a lot of different things that we can buy from these shops. And by completing quests, we gain more coins. Now, something I should mention, it's not only items that you can buy, because you can actually buy other things as well, like events. Like, for example, this goat event that happens, that just now happened. Yeah, this goat event you can buy, I think. You can buy other events as well. I mean, there are just some really cool things that you can do, and I'm pretty excited to get to explore those. Now, after gathering string, a little bit more wood, now having it automated, it's time to make ourselves some strainers. I would prefer to probably make a few of these. So let's see, we can make like 2 of them, I think, for right now. I think 2 will be more than fine. We just have oak available to us. So with these oak strainers, they're very, very simple. We just literally need to have them placed in water. So yeah, I mean, I'll just place one here for right now. They can be placed on the upper part as well. And they're just gonna, over time, collect all of these different pebbles, including tuff, andesite, all kinds of goodies. definitely worth getting these placed in ASAP. And it also gathers all of the other saplings for us. Now, technically, this is a cobblestone generator. It is going to be generating cobblestone, but not the one that I want. No. We still have a progression line to go through, and this opens up into some really cool stuff. And like I said, I'm working my way towards this compact cobblestone generator, but it's not 100% necessary for actually moving super quickly through this pack. And that's because these do a pretty good job at actually generating the pebbles and stuff like that. And we actually get quite a bit. We also get a skill point in mining, which I do want to use. We get even more pebbles, and we get some rewards because we've already made the furnace prior to this because we had cobblestone on our own map. Now, I do want to mention that skill point, right? It's under the mining tab, and at the very start, we ended up unlocking our ulti-mine 32 blocks by accepting this. Pretty darn cool. And then everything else just sort of paths off, and you kind of get to pick and choose what you want, whether that's block reach or you want mining. I would prefer probably not going block reach, just from my own personal experience. That can get kind of annoying, but it is all stuff that you can check out and do. By the way, I know that this is pretty late in this particular episode, but with these pebbles, there are a few little tips and tricks that you can use. You can just open your inventory and hit K, or if you have multiple stacks of these, you can hit Shift K, and it's going to automatically compress them for you. Very similar to how I was telling you to use the tab key to refill the last craft you did. Now, we have a hammer, and that is something that we probably need to make as well. And then I think with the it's just a cobblestone hammer, right? Yeah, it should be a cobblestone hammer. Not called a cobblestone hammer, called a stone hammer. Oh my goodness. But still, it's a hammer. Perfect. And we need a few sticks for that. Of course, I have plenty of this stuff. But once we make this hammer, we should be ready to go and converting blocks over. And just like this, you can see it now converts it into gravel. But little quick tip, I believe that this also works if it is a compressed block. So if it's a compressed block, that will convert into 9 gravel and so on and so forth. You can also hit K on this to compress the gravel. That will then convert into dirt. Then that should convert into sand. And you just keep rinsing and repeating this until we get all of the materials that we need. You can get it all the way down to dust for right now, though I do want some sand smelted because we actually need this to produce lava. Now, to get to this cobblestone generator, we also need lava, which means we are going to need the jars from FTB. And this is an interesting thing, but if you have played like Ocean Block or any of those, you might be familiar with this jar. It requires cast iron, which we can get from just literally smelting this on a skillet, a full iron ingot. And then we need regular glass panes that need to be also smelted on the campfire. This allows us to get a glass jar, and lava can be made really easy with that. So I am going to need to make some glass panes, but where are we going to get the iron? And that's where it's a little bit cheesy on this map, because we do, I believe, have a full block of iron up there, unless it's tempting me and it's not actually a real block. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, and that is by bridging all the way up here onto this crane and seeing if we can't nab this single block here of iron. Oh yes, this is 100% a regular block of iron, and I've grabbed that sneaky, and this is going to allow me to craft buckets really quickly, where we would have had to have gone through the early progression. But I'm going to save that for next episode, because I think it is going to be a little bit more complicated in its setup, and I don't really want to put that so far buried into this episode. But now that we have ourselves some iron, like, we can get started here, right? We literally just kind of booped the progression just a little bit. I need one of these cooking, and then the other two we just need to craft into 2 separate buckets, because we need one for water and we need one to house the lava. And as soon as this is done cooking, we can actually make ourselves some lava. So let's take our glass, make ourselves a tempered glass jar, and then the glass jar needs to go here, but it doesn't do anything on its own. It's going to need a campfire to be able to be heated like this. And inside of our quest, I believe underneath this, let's see, where do we have our jar, right? Yes, right here. It does give us a bucket, so long as we have ourselves a lava bucket that has gone inside of the ceramic. Oh, that is actually kind of scary. Now, be able to produce lava, yeah, you do need to mix it. And I think we can scoop it out of here with a bucket, and it doesn't actually need a tank or anything like that, but a tank allows it to go into there much, much easier. And thankfully, it looks like we can use a regular bucket. We don't have to do the dangerous ceramic bucket. And just like that, that has then produced a fluid capsule. I don't know. Can this be placed in the world? That's if it doesn't have anywhere to go, it does produce this fluid capsule. Can I then place that in here? Oh, I can. Perfect. And then I can pick it up. That's perfect. That's exactly what we needed to do. And that gives us a tank, which makes it so much easier because you can just place a tank next to it and this will auto input into the tank over here. Very nice. And then we almost have everything needed to make the actual cobblestone generator. Yeah, we only need a few more cobblestone. 4 cobblestone is all we need to literally have an unlimited supply, which is going to be so nice. And I think with that, we are just about ready. Yeah, we need 6 compressed cobblestone to make the cobblestone generator. And voila, we now have a compact cobblestone generator. Very nice. And we get a storage drawer for it as well. And I'm thinking we just place it right here for now, place the storage drawer on top, and looky there. Yeah, we are already generating ourselves some cobblestone, and we don't even have the progression for iron set up yet. How cool is that? So voila, cobblestone ready to go, which means we have access to a lot more things that we can use in the future, and we should be able to soon upgrade this thing to produce even faster. But if you guys did enjoy today's episode, you learned something new, whether it was a tip or a trick, be sure to click that subscribe button and give this video a huge thumbs up, because it really means a lot to me, and I love making these videos for you guys. So yes, I would really, really appreciate that. And of course, don't forget to comment down below what's been your favorite part of this mod pack, or what was your favorite part of today's video. And if there's anything I could have done better, definitely let me know as well, because I love all the feedback. And guys, it's now time, with that being said, to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode, which I love doing in all of my episodes right at the end, just to say thanks to those who go the extra mile to support the content that I make. That amazing thanks is going to go out to Predator Ridley. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. And I thank all of my supporters, whether you support me on Patreon, over on the Discord, here as a YouTube member, or of course over on twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect. I just want to say again, thank you so very much. And to all of you watching as well, thanks for watching.